Hello, Periscope. Yeah, so I'm exhausted. What a day. Imagine that. We had one of the greatest days in Bermuda's history, and the age old, what's the word I want to use? Tactic of divide and conquer has already reared its ugly head. I mean, people always say the white man this and the white man that, and I firmly believe that slavery was responsible for inducing this mentality in black people that they are incapable of achieving victory that is real victory. We have a way, or we find a way to diminish the power that we have to make it palatable to others around us. And we have become so good of it, so good at it, that we even find a way to divide ourselves under the guise that we are not capable of leading each other in integrity and honesty. And so we will continue to stay in the past and beat ourselves for what should have happened, what we should have done. And I'm all for accountability, as those of you who know me know. And I believe in accountability. But when are we going to learn as black people to stop beating ourselves up and to stay solidified, even in disagreement? Even in disagreement. We will not do it. We find a way to split as soon as there is disagreement, instead of trying to understand circumstance or understand conditions under which decisions are made, to question, to seek clarity, rather than question to criticize. I have been a part of decision making and and have been unhappy with the direction in which those decisions have taken us. But I support the process of democracy. And it's sad that when you see people that don't get what their expectation was, to tear down the process of democracy. Now, here's the interesting thing. Some people would say, but democracy was through the democratic process of election. And so this government was elected to govern. And we prevented them from governing on behalf of the majority that elected them. Well, I would question whether or not the majority of the people in this country was in favor of this government. But I accept the process, the voting process, that the majority of the people who took advantage of the process elected this government. The problem with what they were trying to do, which forced us to not adhere to the democratic rule, is their bill would have disenfranchised us as one, a Bermudian people, and two, as a black people. It does not take a rocket scientist to look at the majority of the PRC holders to see that their racial makeup puts them in a category that statistics and history shows will govern their voting power. And that concerns me. But it doesn't concern me to the point that I would want to impede their right and entitlement under certain circumstances. But what that circumstances looks like, it was important that we intervened in the pathway in which it was going. And that is the only way history has shown that real change and real progress has been made. And it's always okay to question from the outside and to criticize from the outside when you don't know all the facts. And that is why people have appointed persons to act on their behalf, but you have to trust them. You can't give people your trust, and then when they come back with a decision that you don't find as favorable, turn around and say, no, I don't trust you. I would prefer you say, I'm not happy with the decision, but I can work with it. We always got to be able to find a way, people. And I have no problem disagreeing, and I have no problem with people that disagree with me. But what I have a problem is you disagreeing and questioning my integrity. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the name calling. And that is how we end up how we are as a people. Creating the perception that we cannot come together and function. Because we're quick to allow the divide and conquer tactic to prevent us from enjoying victories. And that is why we also will be divided along racial lines when it comes to issues. And every issue, we're going to be divided along racial lines. As long as there are policies and there are decisions that are made that are specifically designed to hold on to power and disenfranchise one group. Imagine if we came together and collectively had our disagreements, try to find consensus and move forward, as opposed to tearing each other down in a public setting. Shame on us. So I ask the question once again, when are we going to learn and do better? Those are my thoughts, my random thoughts. Maybe we all need to ask ourselves that question. When am I going to be prepared to see the silver lining in everything that makes it better for my people? Something to be said here. Anyway, peace.